Alright, hello everybody, my name is Bosco8, and today we're going to be talking about Decay, and how it's going to work, in my own opinion, in Heroes Online 2. Now, as per usual, this will be ranked as how I did it in my Rabbit video. I will have three things I'll be listing, which are the Rarity, the category, and the moves. But first, let's talk about one thing, and this is spoiler warning. Spoiler warning. If you're not at the moment running out, then please click off the video. Thank you. Or fast forward to this timestamp in the video as well. We're not adding TAFO. TFO or Tomura's All for One, as people like to call it, is never going to be added. Why? Because it is literally just All for One plus Decay at the end of the day. And since we know All for One's going to be added to the game, and since we know Decay is also going to be added to the game, just have All for One be your first quirk and then Decay be your second quirk. There, you have Tomura's All for One. Don't be lazy. It's just very dumb to make it a whole separate quirk when at the end of the day it just does something. It's just the same thing plus Decay. That's all it is. Obviously, Decay, it's pretty easy in the rarities section anyway. It's going to be a legendary. It has to be. Maybe high tier epic, but I would say definitely legendary. Same thing for category. This is very easy to go off of. I would have to say quirk, because again, at the end of the day, he mainly uses his quirk. I don't really see Shigaraki being like the more combative type. It looks like he's always just using an opportunity or trying to find one where he can just grab a hold of you and use his quirk, because that really just seems like how he fights anyway. Alright, what's next here? Oh boy, this is gonna take a while. Alright, so move section. Now, the move section here, I should be reminding people that I'm only doing Shigaraki from the point in where he was basically viable. And by that I mean, this is from when he first appeared in UA all the way after the Redestro fight. Because as soon as we're going into like the first, what is it? The Paranormal, no, it's the first war arc. I don't remember the name anyway. But it's but everything from that point to like the final war arc, I consider it to be All for One, because we do like get a bit of confirmation in where during the time period where Shigaraki was using All for One, that wasn't him, that was actually All for One using his body. And it wasn't until I think during the final war arc where we see Shigaraki come back is when he actually does come back. So I'm going to be basically, this is going to be a Shigaraki from when he first appeared to after the Redestro fight. First off, I think it'd be very interesting if they had Decay's moveset be very kind of similar to OFA's moveset, in the sense that with how OFA sort of relies on projectiles, Decay would not have any projectiles in its kit. And with like the first move of OFA being the finger smash move, Decay could be finger grab. As we know with Shigaraki, that if he lays more of his fingers on you, or in the sense that if he puts his whole hand on you, that you will decay immediately. But we saw in like the Eraserhead fight that if it's just 1, 2, or 3, you'll decay slower. So I would think that it'd be very interesting that the first move is basically an auto grab that will sort of make you lose your health a bit, but as you upgrade it, it will deal more damage. Alright, so obviously the debuff for this set is going to be dry skin. Now, however Arc wants to like apply that, he can figure that out, but obviously I think it should work in the same way that how muscle damage is, that if you use the Decay moves too much, it's going to damage you and prevent you from using them. You'll basically just have very dry skin, sort of like how Shigaraki has it. When he uses like Decay a lot in the Redestro fight, he basically starts almost coming apart himself. Low sweep is just like a kind of a little funny move I just thought of. I thought I'd write it down just something, you know, to be there, because just the imagining the image of you just sliding on the ground and just swiping at someone's legs to just use decay on them is just hilarious to me. Now, the next move I want to talk about is Downfall. This is your hyper armor move, and it's sort of like Ground Smash from OFU, but instead of just like one hit to the ground, you keep your hand on the ground. As I would say, if you've ever played ABA and if you played as Law, you can summon Room, which is like a circle. Except here, it's going to be an invisible circle that will start to spread out slowly. Not infinitely, but to a certain range. It will get bigger as you upgrade it more. And people caught inside it will start losing their health and stamina progressively. Alright, first off, for a passive for the Awakening, I think you should get an increase in movement speed. Redestro did say when Shigaraki awakens, he's like as agile as a cat, to the point where he's creating like after images of himself. Obviously, for the Awakening, the moves, one is going to be the hand slam that he does against Redestro, where he shoots it towards him, which breaks apart his suit. The next one will be another hand slam, but this time you just create a gigantic, sort of like area of effect circle that will just expand immediately. I don't know if it should take up the entire map, but I should say that it should at least take up a good percentage of the portion of the map that you are on, because at the end of this, there should just be a gray canvas along everywhere where you were standing. Now, should it be a one-shot? I don't think so. I think it should at least deal a very good chunk to both anybody's stamina and or health. As for you yourself, you might be a bit slower after using this, but I think that's a good price to pay. Again, I think this form of Shigaraki should only be available if you have AFO. I've already posted like what the final form of it could be earlier in the video. This is just me retouching on that subject. There could be various moves that could go with it. Maybe like just a widespread decay. But other than that, I don't really know what else I can really say about it. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Overall, Decay has a lot of uses, maybe multiple awakenings if you have it with AFO. I think because again, I've only went over from Tomura's debut to his fight with Redestro, since I think everything else after that is all for one taking over his body, and until the moment he gets free from it during the gear shift fight is pretty much the real Tomura. I think that is when we actually do see him. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have to really say about Decay. I think it's going to be maybe a combination of just close quarters and high stamina. Like, you should have at least somewhat of a high stamina when you're using this quirk, so then that way it becomes somewhat viable when you're fighting. Because again, you're going to be needing to get in close to fight all your enemies and everything. Other than that, yeah. Alrighty, and I think that's it. If you guys want to see more of this, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Be sure to hit the bell to be notified on more upcoming videos that I do. As always, my name is Bosco and I will see you all later. Bye! 'Cause I'm